I think price lists are one of the hardest things to do. I would love to hear your guys' opinion with price lists and see how you guys calculated it. We've done a lot of work, put a lot of time into doing our best to cost everything we do here. But I could tell you, it's still probably not perfect, but it's getting better and better every day. I know when I started printing 14 years ago, what I did is I took the local print shop's pricing and I just changed it to my price list. I think that's what a lot of printers do. And I think we've been doing that for a long time because actually no one really does the work to figure out the cost. The one wisdom I could share is make sure you're charging enough and make sure you're getting your garment margin. So we buy shirts from distributors, unless you're importing indirect. But when you buy those shirts, make sure you're marking them up a minimum of 30%, if not 100% or more. So many printers buy shirts and they don't even mark them up to their clients. Often our print costs alone is not enough for us to survive if we're not charging the proper print costs. I really recommend you are charging proper garment margin, number one. Number two, getting into print costs. Make sure you're adding up everything. The thing that I think printers don't do, and it's hard because there's so many hands-on things with printing, is they don't charge the fees accordingly for what is actually done. For example, printing a sweater to printing a t-shirt, a sweater costs more to print. You're using poly whiting most likely, and you're using a different type of adhesive to print that. We gotta make sure we charge accordingly. People will use one price list for both items. And you can do that if you're making a proper garment margin, because that's how you're justifying it. But it also trains customers to a certain way. And that's something that I've noticed that customers, we have to explain to them, well, we charge more for fleece. And these certain niche things that they're not used to, because a lot of printers don't do that. Other things like sleeves, sleeve printing, it has to cost more. Sleeve printing tends to take more time. You can't run a machine at 600 shirts an hour doing a full sleeve. It's very hard to pull that off at that speed. If you can, you're amazing, but we don't here. I would love to hear how you guys do pricing, but these are the things that I've noticed that as printers, maybe we can improve on. These are my tips and tricks with it, is make sure your garment margin is appropriate and make sure you're charging for the little things like fleece up charges, long sleeve up charges, different types of, barrier bases. Also, how many bases you charge accordingly. We often print with 2 bases. We normally charge for 1. That's one thing that I would like to change one day, but it's teaching the customer step by step how to get the proper pricing and get paid accordingly.